Hello, everyone and no one, and welcome to another Rotten Movie Reviews. This week we are reviewing the movie Snake Eyes, the 1998 one, not the one where the G.I. Joe one where they decide to make Snake Eyes Asian for some strange reason. But with me, as always, is Tyr Alexander. Tyr, how you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. You?
I'm not so bad. We can go ahead and get rid of James for now. We also have Angela with us. Angela, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Not so bad. But yes, watched the 1998 film starring Nicolas Cage and Gary Sinise. It is Sinise, right?
Yes,
He plays a good villain.
he really
Yeah,
does.
he does.
I am
It's
so
great
just
to see it
always
again.
stuck to me is just seeing him as Lieutenant Dan so much, but I don't know what it was about the 90s. So many actors that nowadays feel like, oh, they're such great actors, but they were just in so many of the same movies together back in the fucking like 90s and early 2000s. I
Yeah.
mean, Cage, Sinise, John Hurd, Carla. I'm gonna butcher her last name.
Gugino,
Gugino,
Carla Gugino.
Carla Gugino, and she was cute as hell back then.
Oh yeah.
By her one picture, she don't look bad as well. Oh, Kevin Dunn in there, fucking Stan Shaw.
Shit. Luis Guzman.
Yeah, Louis
Oh.
Grossman.
Uh.
Freaking Mike
Da-
Starr.
Fucking David Anthony Higgins. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they had just a really fucking good cast. And just like weird roles, and it was just to give the little overview and whatnot, Snake Eyes, obviously Nicolas Cage, he plays the main character. He is actually a shady police detective who then, as
Hey,
they go into it, finds himself in the middle of a murder conspiracy at an important boxing match in Atlantic City Casino. And honestly, for like a mystery crime thriller, I think they did pretty well personally.
yeah.
I mean, Sneeze brings his fucking A game every time, in my opinion. I don't think I've ever seen that man in a role to where it's just like, yeah, I can't believe that. Cage did really well. He had a good director to keep him in check.
He wasn't wacky in this. Yeah.
Well, he was wacky when he needed to be, when it was to have the whole thing like to try to pump shit up, especially right in the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got serious, and then had the whole thing of where like he actually had to have the contemplation and everything, and even had like the shaking of his hands trying to get his cigarettes out and his lighter.
Yeah.
That must suck.
Like,
I think Stan Shaw is typecast as a boxer.
probably, but he plays it well.
He does, but he has to be typecast as a boxer. Like the three movies that I remember him from, he's always played a boxer.
Well, in the Monster Squad, he was a detective.
No, Harlem Nights boxer. This movie boxer. Uh, he has to be typecast.
Yeah, but Rotten turned around and just told you there a movie he
Yeah,
was in that where he was not a
yeah, but he's
boxer.
talking about the movies that he remembers and everything. And like the big ones that he's most well known for are typically going to be like, it's because I just went to everything. It's like the Monster Squad, Rising Sun with him and Connery.
I never seen that.
I
Oh,
don't think I have that one.
he's in it, and with the two mains in that one are Connery and Snipes, and he plays Phillips, which is what we're already getting sidetracked. They don't have anything in there. Apparently, okay. Oh, he doesn't play. He plays security of some sort and whatnot.
I mean, the guy's a phenomenal actor.
Oh yeah,
I loved his list in fucking Harlem Nights. I love that lisp.
Holy shit! I mean, granted, it's in the 2019 series, but he was in an episode of The Young and the Restless.
Wow.
Yep.
Only one episode?
Yep.
That's
3 episodes of Murder, She Wrote as a detective.
Uh-huh. That's where I remember him from, really. That and the Monster Squad, I had to have seen that like a million times.
Plus the court.
I'm too young to remember Murder, She Wrote.
He was also in the film The Court Martial of Jackie Robinson. He doesn't play Jackie Robinson. Andrew Bauer does. Or Andre Bauer. And I'm pretty sure both of them gave fucking great performances in that one.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen Andre Bauer not give a great performance.
That's why I said I'm pretty sure both of them gave great performances. Wait. That's a different Under Siege. There's 2 different Under Siege movies.
It's the original, and then there's like a remake, if I'm not mistaken.
There's the 1986 one, and then there's also the one starring Seagal.
Oh.
I don't know when Seagal's at, but we already got fucking sidetracked. So, I enjoyed the movie. It's got the bit of comedy where it needs to be. Stays actually relatively serious. Has a relatively dour ending, I think would be the proper term.
Yeah.
But all in all, I would still say a good movie. Thoughts?
I don't think it was a dour ending. I just think it was foreshadowed. He knew exactly what was going to happen when it happened. Like they're going to dig, and you're going to get arrested, and your wife's going to leave you. So is your girlfriend. You're fucked. Like, be you. Take the money. And
you could tell that the movie, the script was not great to begin with, but it also wasn't horrible.
Oh, most definitely wasn't horrible.
I mean, this was the 90s, the late 90s. So they were still trying things. And one of the writers for this one, Brian De Palma, was also the director. The other writer was David Kiap.
But you could tell that the script was simple, but the actors did what they could with it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they gave good performances. Don't get me wrong.
The same director for this one, that Brian De Palma, also directed the original Carrie movie.
Wow. Cage plays creep well. Like, we need to get a bingo card and start playing fucking Cage bingo.
Which Nicolas Cage are we getting?
Yeah, which Nicolas Cage? We getting creepy, but heroic or heroically creepy? Is he going to hit on the female lead? Yeah, okay, all right.
And I will still say, I was actually very surprised at the end of the movie that they had a song written that basically gave a synopsis of the whole movie.
It was wonderful.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there listening to it going, this is literally a play-by-play.
Yeah.
Every line of this song was
a part of the movie.
Yeah.
They like, that was a massive conspiracy. Man, political throws always get to me.
I'll still say this one as well. I mean, granted, like, for this, I actually could understand for the guy who was supposed to be the suicide assassin, or that whole thing for that, of him using a suppressed 9mm submachine gun. It still doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because It's not going to be as accurate at a distance. It's not going to do what it should at a distance. I only bring this up because of watching NCIS earlier, and it was the episode where I have to finish it again, but where it's the final part where Ziva's in the relationship with Ray from the CIA, and you find out that Ray used one of the former, it's like a Navy person, to lure someone that had business with to conduct ops on U.S. soil that he wasn't supposed to, but he ends up killing her as well as his target and then tries to make it seem like it's a robbery. But when you go through and find out, he uses a suppressed submachine gun to try to sniper rifle it. It's like, dude, it's like you're in the fucking CIA. How could you not get a goddamn suppressed bolt action rifle, you fucking retard? And it still falls into this. Okay, you guys are going into this whole thing. We're going to bring a suppressed freaking 9mm submachine gun when I guarantee you they could have gotten like any suppressed fucking piston driven actual rifle.
Even that armor was just shit.
It's that whole thing of going for cool factor. Can a 9mm be accurate that far? Yes, it can. But it's still just like, fucking really?
Ooh. The rule of cool.
Yeah, that's always me for that whole thing. I'm gonna be the one and think of the stupid shit of like, why the hell are they doing this?
I just find it amazing that the one from the movie standpoint, the one time that Cage has a conscience is the one time where it really could have, if I'd have been the man I normally am, I could have got far more.
$1 million.
Yeah, I could have got $1 million. I could said fuck this life and shit.
Wow.
He could again the one time where he goes against character because again he was a corrupt cop. He was used to taking money, like to turn a blind eye.
But like he said, the whole thing that was all was really different between the two of them was for Cage's character, Rick Santoro. He'd never killed anyone. So contrary to typically his the other roles to where he's played to where he's either a good guy or a bad guy, but typically like a cop or something like that, he typically still has lives taken underneath his belt. This one he doesn't, to where he's supposed to be in some place that he could have done that.
Yeah. The whole having Tyler take the dive.
I will say this though, the fucking product placement in this goddamn movie was ridiculous.
Yes.
But like I understand why. It's a fucking boxing match. It's supposed to be an arena for a boxing match in a casino. So that shit's gonna be all over the place. But I was like, you would think after all that shit that like they'd have turned the signs off, so when Cage and Sinise are having their whole moment, that you don't see Cannon and I can't remember what the other one was that was before that. And what's funny is for the Canon logo, it's the wrong logo because it's CANON. It's like I was pretty sure it's supposed to be CANNON unless I'm fucking being stupid.
No, I think Canon is CANON.
It might be. I could have swore I've seen it the other way.
Like a cannon.
Maybe I'm Mandela affecting myself.
Yes, CANON. This one was a good one. I didn't think it would be that good, but it was pretty good. Not as good as Face Off.
Face Off is just a dumb, fun movie, though.
It has explosions in it.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't have any explosions.
But this is the first movie where Nicolas Cage uses a Glock.
Sure.
Which is completely irrelevant. He also doesn't shoot it at all.
It is one of the first movie. Well, no, I take it back. I was about to say one of the first movie where he gets his ass beat by a boxer, but nope. He probably already did that.
I don't remember getting his ass kicked in other movies by a boxer before this one.
Oh, no. See, there we go. All right.
It may be the only one where he gets his ass kicked by a boxer.
Highly plausible.
I mean, he's played a cop before. Played a corrupt cop before. Played a military man.
Yeah, because Con Air was the military man.
Con Air, Birdie.
Well, Birdie was the military man, but that one was more of a dramatization than a. Wow.
It was after the fact.
Yeah.
It was the story being told afterwards.
I mean, he played military in Time to Kill as well, and didn't shoot worth a fuck. He didn't use a handgun at all when in Firebirds.
I refuse to acknowledge the Time to Kill.
It's not a Time to Kill. It's just
I said Time to Kill.
It sounded like you said in there before it.
Oh, I refuse to acknowledge Time to Kill on the grounds that I don't want to relive the memories.
On the grounds that it's Time to Kill.
No. Time to Kill is horrible.
I know.
And I still hate you and James. I'm still pissed at you and James for not suffering with us.
I have nothing that I can say to make that better. You are entirely within your rights to be angry with me.
Because, I mean,
it's okay.
The first movie he actually uses a gun in is actually apparently the Cotton Club, but he's not one of the main characters. But the first, okay, he does use an M60 for a little bit in Birdie, but I think that's just in a flashback. Otherwise, it's in Raising Arizona where he really wields a gun, sort of.
How about Amos and Andrew?
Well, yeah, that one's later on. And that one, because, yeah, I remember Red Rock West. That's like Firebirds, Wild at Heart, Deadfall, Red Rock West, Guarding Tess. Like Amos and Andrew, he has the gun, but he doesn't actually shoot anyone or anything.
Well, he has the gun in The Rock.
Yes, I said that one. He also shoots it in Guarding Tess. He uses it to take a guy's toe off. I won't lie. I did love that part from that movie. Because when he talks to her later, she's like, "Oh, did you finally shoot somebody?" He's like, "Yeah." That's like, "What do I do?" He shot someone's toe off. She's just like, "Really?" Yeah, Shirley MacLaine. She's just like, "Really? First chance to use a gun and you shoot someone in the foot."
You know, I have nothing bad to say about this one. I mean, aside from the scenes with the reporter could have been like left out. The one out in the rain.
Yeah.
You could have totally left those scenes out, and nothing of value was lost.
Yeah, but those were meant to pad the time. Otherwise, this fucking movie would have been, instead of an hour and 38 minutes, like an hour 30.
Yeah, a lot of scenes were padding for time.
Like, I will. Go ahead.
I'm about to say the shit with I fucking forgot his name. David Anthony Higgins.
Oh,
you should have left that out.
Well, I mean, that was basically her trying to find a way to, Julia's character to escape and whatnot. So it made a little bit of sense. But basically,
It was to give them a little exposition time,
yeah.
too.
I will say I definitely liked during the retelling of everything how it was always done in first person, except for Julia, for the most part.
You're right. Yeah.
Well, and Julia and Cage were the ones that didn't have the first person.
Nope. It wasn't Julian and Kate. It was Tyler too. Tyler's wasn't told in first person. It
Yeah.
was told by.
Well, they all start first person. I thought that was really cool. Because all of them have that. Because even Sinise does the same thing. But I liked Tyler's freaking flashback the best of how he's just like going through the whole thing. When he finally's like, oh, you know, the dude didn't even hit him. It was a phantom punch. He's like, the dude throws a punch like a bitch.
Yeah.
You can just hear that anger as a boxer of just like, I had to fight this fucking guy who can't even fight. Like he was a showboater who had no business in the ring.
And you could see on his face like, oh fuck me, I'm about to destroy my career for this. You know?
Wow.
Like that's the look on his face like, oh god damn.
He's just like, God damn it, I didn't even hit him that hard. Like, how are you going to get into the ring with me and you can't take a hit?
He was almost down too. Like
Yeah.
that'd have been 2 more seconds and he'd have been fucked.
Yeah. It's just like, how are you going to take a hit that weak and just stay down?
Shit, now that I think about it, you know, just a further thought, the whole Tyler plot really wasn't necessary. Like him being involved, like they'd have rose up if he'd have fucking well, he was already standing when we talked to the chick, so they could have popped him then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an overly convoluted plot.
It really
too many
is.
moving parts. And see, that's the problem. It was so many moving parts that's what fucked it up.
Yeah.
If he hadn't noticed Tyler is part in it, he didn't. It would have went off way better.
And it's that whole thing of like, oh, for that whole scenario, you could have gone from a different angle instead of trying to go directly across, or had a little more height. And instead, you know, have done been like, oh, I see him up there, and then shoot him in the way, then he has the dramatic fall.
Yes. Or you could have given him a drink because they were serving drinks. Here, somebody slipped him a Mickey, and now he's dead.
Well, they had to have it that it would be a terrorist attack, so that way they knew that the Secretary of Defense was going to be turned because of seeing the one testing stuff. Although, for how many of them were already in that, you think it would have made much more sense to have him, that he most likely could have been bought as well.
Or wouldn't it have been easier to just fucking discredit her?
Yeah.
Like, all right, so she was just recently fired and she's a disgruntled employee. So it instantly brings into question her motivations. And you would have achieved the same goals because, well, now we could either stop this project, which should go through, or, and listen to this disgruntled employee, which could cost the taxpayers X amount of dollars already. Again, and if they really wanted to kill him, like they could have had the motorcade attacked, or like the him attacked in mid-flight. Not mid-flight, but getting off like the plane or wherever he was coming from. He didn't need to be at the goddamn arena.
Yeah.
Too many moving parts. Too many moving parts. Great movie though.
They were trying to take them both out though.
Yeah. And if you're going to do that, since you see her up close, you don't go for the further target And that whole thing, you get the closer target because they're going to be in shock from seeing that. Then you shoot the further target. I know way too. I shouldn't say I know way too much. I have thought way too much into half this shit.
I'll tell you that. I'm pretty sure you could have got both of them at the same goddamn time. But she was in shock.
Well, in that time frame, they would have had to have gotten, which granted being military, they could have easily gotten armor piercing ammo, which is what they would have had to gone with. A steel core ammo, which isn't as common for a submachine gun, hence going with the why would you use a submachine gun? You use a regular rifle because that's going to ensure that your target's more likely to get or to be ended or to take down your target because of the hydrostatic shock a rifle round will do comparatively to a 9mm handgun round. Because even with the MP5K that they were using in that situation, it's like a 6 to 8 inch barrel with how the 9mm is not flying fast enough, and since they're suppressing it, it's a subsonic round, so it's going even slower. All of its damage it's doing, it's trying to either do with the hollow points or just with blunt force, basically. With the rifle rounds, since they travel so much faster, they will actually, like, once they hit things, they will cause them to expand so much more. It's one of the cool things if you ever watch some of the ballistics gel tests and whatnot, when they shoot them with it's really, really fast rounds, how far out some of those ballistics gel blocks will expand and then contract back in.
Wow.
Just because it hits it so hard and so fast that it's causing a hydrostatic shock. Yeah, that's why rifles always trump handguns.
Again, too many moving parts in this plan. What if Tyler had been this outstanding gentleman who didn't gamble and?
Well, okay, on that one, we're not going to go into changing the entirety of the character because
My bad. I like
I know you're like to then that you're not analyzing, and that you are changing exponentially more because you're changing the entirety of a main character. And he's already been shown to, for the most part, be a sleazeball.
Like, there's no good people in this one. Everybody's a dick, except for the woman.
Yeah. Julia and the female, or the news host, about the only ones that seem to be decent people. Because even before she goes to the second one, she's like, "What did I do to get all these shit jobs?"
Yeah. Like, everyone, again, another one where mostly all the characters are dicks.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, it's kind of what it's meant to be, is that no character is good, but even characters that can be considered shady and bad people still have somewhat of a code. Like for Dunn's character, Commander Kevin Dunn, his code got broken when he had to go through and listen to men drowned. I think it was what, 8? It's like 8 men drowned with a hatch being locked off. So something like that, definitely hits him. But with Santoro, he had his whole thing that he wouldn't kill anyone. He didn't want to be part of any death in that whole thing. I mean, yeah, he'll beat a dude up.
He never killed anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of shit, but he never killed nobody.
Yep.
I wonder what happened to Tyler at the end. Huh.
Well, for that one, they didn't bring up anything about that necessarily, but it was kind of irrelevant at that point.
Well, no, I'm just how movies have certain questions that in the end that you want answered, and I just curious what did Tyler,
I'm still gonna say that I'm surprised Lou got to be that famous, because it would have been brought up that with the whole bribery thing of how Lou bribed to be the man on the scene.
Right.
Because when they would have looked into his past, it would have got brought up being like, hey, this whole thing, and I'll just be like, oh, well, this guy right here is the one who paid me to be on there. It's like paid me to be on the scene.
Yeah, I'm curious. Again, good movie. Turn your brain off. No one's likable. Very few likable characters in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to feel bad about rooting for the bad guy. They're all bad people.
Yeah.
Except for the two women.
And Mike Starr.
Yeah, like Star.
Yeah, so it's like the security guard. It's like most of the security guards were the ones who've been like, oh, okay, yeah, they're not bad folks, because it's that whole thing of like with Mike Starr, he was just doing his job. Like quite literally, he was trying to do the right. It's like he was doing his job of trying to do the right thing and whatnot.
Well, I dug the guy that I don't think that was Mike Starr that I'm thinking about.
The one
The
in,
guy that was actually running the like the cameras and stuff at the place. He was pretty cool.
oh yeah, the security. Well, they're that most those
Well, he
guys didn't
wasn't
even name.
security.
Yeah.
He was actually filming.
Yeah, the ones that were
You're talking
doing.
about the one with the eye of God, or the eye in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was still more of a minor character though. Mike Starr was the one who directed Cage to Julia. So technically, he wasn't necessarily a bad guy. He was doing what he was supposed to do.
Okay. We have at least 4 characters of decent moral standing.
Right.
All of the minor, it's like majority of the minor characters are the ones who have decent moral standing.
Yes. David Anthony Higgins' character is an asshole.
Oh yeah, he was so trying to cheat on his wife.
And then what she did for him.
That was absolutely nuts. Like,
Yeah.
he started off being this semi-sympathetic dude and then just became a rabid asshole. And I was like, whoa, Dr. Jekyll much?
Yeah, and when it didn't
Yes.
turn out his way, he's just like, I'm a happily married man.
And then
I was
he
just
goes,
sitting here writing a letter to my darling wife. What the actual fuck?
and then this guy breaks into my room. Like, dude. Again,
I was just like, what?
That was an odd one.
yes, it wasn't out. Again, not many likable characters. At least moral wise. Cage was great being Cage.
Sinise,
I was gonna
obvious. Sinise,
Of course, he was Nicolas Cage.
well, he actually showed more acting chops than the typical what most people would think of for Cage acting.
Yeah, he actually really tried in this one.
That's why I said it's like that. The sorry to cut you off to your that one, but the director that was there, that Brian De Palma, is a good director for it. He knew how to get Cage to what he wanted out of him.
Yes, and thank God they didn't have Cage do an accent.
Yeah.
His last couple of movies, but his accent just.
Then obviously stellar performance from Sinise. John Hurd was meh, but he also didn't have a major role.
Yeah, I was gonna say he wasn't like a big deal.
Yeah.
They made more big of a deal about Gary Sinise,
Yeah.
even though he wasn't the mastermind.
Well, he was
Specifically-
part of it, of the mastermind of it.
He
Well,
was.
that's just it. He left it all up to Gary Sinise.
He's the odd job to Hurd's Blofeld.
But then
Okay.
Carla did a great job. Obviously, Shaw knocked his role out the park.
Yeah.
Kevin Dunn does a good job.
Yes.
He did. I actually was really impressed with him.
Needed more Luis Guzman.
Yeah, Luis Guzman. He's always good at his roles. He's a fun character, kind of a bit of a scene stealer. Chip Zen, who played Mickey the lawyer, I'm not too familiar with too much of what he's done. He was the voice of Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
But I think he did really well.
Yes, he did great.
Like I said, the 90s were a wild decade of like the risks they took, and while some movies aren't great, they had like knockout performances comparatively to what a lot of people remember. Hey, what's up, Mitch?
Yo, Mitch.
Just while the premise or the whole, if you try to look too much with a microscope into or magnifying glass, you can find a lot of flaws. But I mean, honestly, it still is kind of like a good murder mystery. It's what it's meant to be. So there's going to be the craziness of it. It's like a more fucked up version of Murder, She Wrote or Columbo.
Yeah, it's what you needed Murder, She Wrote or Columbo to be if they were going to be
Movies
in the box office.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was more political thriller, than murder mystery.
It was supposed to be.
I mean, it was still slight murder mystery, but like the murder part, like the murder mystery part of it was very short.
Yes.
Other than the whole fact of like why it was done. That's the big drawing thing of like that. Why it was done was more political and damn it, now I'm trying to think of the word, basically money driven.
Greed.
No, not greed. Though that word does work.
Not extortion. Financial.
That's probably closer, and I just can't think of what I'm trying to think of because sometimes the words in English language don't agree with me.
Brain don't work too good.
In what language would it agree better?
Gibberish, probably.
Rotn speaks 2 languages: gibberish and.
Speak 2 languages: English and fucked up English.
Wow.
I was swearing there was a word with it that started with a C for this that I was trying to think of.
Compensatory?
Nah, it's probably. I don't think that's it. I'm not gonna dwell on that any further. But I will say it was well done of having, the person who you think is the Boy Scout is actually the more devious of all of them. The person who you would think would be the terrible snake in the grass who's just trying to get things the way or to help him out actually turns out to be a decent person.
No. Well, he's not a decent person.
Not a decent person. He has a decent moral compass on some things.
And the ending implies that in 18 to 12 months, they'll be together.
Yeah.
But he's told you before, I cheated on my wife and with my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a snake. Mm-hmm.
Well, and that whole thing, that's not him being a snake, because the snake eyes is always a losing thing for gambling.
Yeah.
Since this was supposed to be by a casino. What it was supposed to imply is like, look, I've had these things. I don't know if I'll necessarily change, considering, I am an older gentleman.
Well, she seemed to be into him, so.
But I will say, for having a movie that was predominantly in one building, I actually kind of liked that. Kind of like how.
And it was in one night. It was all in one fucking night too. That was just even better.
Because like that was one of the great things about Die Hard, in my opinion, is like, other than a couple of the people in different spots that were outside of the Nakatomi Plaza, everything else happened in the Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah, exactly. It's really great to see what you can do with a simple place like that.
It
A
wasn't
single
heist, wasn't
location,
the word I was looking for either, Mitch.
a simple
Mm-hmm.
location. Oh, it was a movie that just took place in like a single room.
Well, there's the one that took place in the elevator. There's also I think it's a more of a horror movie to where it takes place in a parking lot that has an enclosed ATM, if memory serves me correctly. And like every time someone leaves out of there, because there's really only lights in the and where the ATM's at, they keep getting hit or they keep getting killed. Like I still want to
It's
see. I don't think it was called Hush, but where the it is a it is close. It is a horror movie because but the main character is deaf, and the
okay.
guy uses a crossbow because like it was originally made on Netflix. They took it off of Netflix, which still pisses me off. Because like I think she's a writer or something, so she lives further out in the woods. So they gave the killer an unconventional weapon, but like all of the movie for where it takes place in her house.
Not bad.
Yeah, like
You said it's not on Netflix anymore?
yeah, it's an
Oh,
unfortunate thing.
that sucks because now I'm interested.
Yeah, I gotta try to find it one of these days again because I was like, okay, cool, I can go and look that one up. And then while I was looking at What Culture Horror, they're like, yeah, it got pulled off Netflix. I'm like, motherfucker, and they didn't make any physical copies of it either. I was like, you sons of bitches.
Oh,
Yo, ho ho, in a bottle of rum.
Yep, gonna go look for it through perfectly legitimate websites.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But I will say, in the next movie we'll be doing in 2 weeks, uh, one of the firearms that they're gonna is gonna be used by a Peter Stormare and that
I'm
whole
going.
thing. Uh,
I'm going to
uh,
say this.
and Anthony Hurl, actually Harold, or just Healed, is a 32 Beretta.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah, 8 millimeter.
I'm
I
going
was
to
just
say
looking
this,
to this.
okay.
and I
This-
just hope that Cage is wacky Cage. I, I know I'm not going to get wacky Cage, but I'm hoping he is wacky
Oh,
Cage.
you're not gonna get
An
Wacky
8 millimeter,
Cage
you're
in
not gonna like 8 millimeter.
yeah,
That's
and like Wacky Cage, you're looking more into like Gone in 60 Seconds.
Ah, there's two more movies before that.
Yeah, because
okay.
like
What's the one after 8 mil?
Bringing Out the Dead, which is gonna be more about like the life of a
I
EMT.
actually haven't seen that one.
Uh, well, I was kind of looking into some of the stuff. It's like Polly was one of the ones who actually brought the recommendation that kind of gives you a better offset into the life of some EMTs, if memory serves me correctly.
Eh.
Come
Because
on,
it's like I
load,
saw 8 millimeter and I saw Gone in 60 Seconds. I did not see Bringing Up the Dead.
load, you fucker. Yeah, I know I've got like 12 tabs open. Still, fucking load.
Wait, you only have 12 tabs open?
Yeah, because it was just being a dick. But it says, haunted by the patients he failed to save, a monumentally burned out Manhattan ambulance paramedic fights to maintain his sanity over 3 increasingly turbulent nights.
Wow.
So the next three or the next two Cage movies are going to be dark. And I will say I'm glad there's going to be a week in between them because we still might, after these two movies, before we get into Gone in 60 Seconds,
Need
which
prayer.
would be a cleanser, but we might even in between them for how 8 millimeter is. It's a private investigator looking for a snuff film or investigating a snuff film. We may do a palate cleanser in between them.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got the the video we saw last week. I got it up on the branding. So
Which video?
just the little baby.
Oh yeah, that I threw in there.
You take my phone now.
Give back my phone. Just that fucking laugh.
Yes.
Oh,
My dad got such a
that
kick
was-
out of that when I showed him that one. Because I showed him that one after the, why won't you pay? You're not going to pay for my meal. And then finally that whole thing's like, I don't even know you.
I don't know.
Like,
that was fantastic.
I knew you guys were going to get a kick out of that. That whole thing of like, you're not even going to pay for meal. I mean, like half. What happened to all the good men? Then all of a sudden it shows their different sides of the building, or it's like of the room, and it's just like, I don't even know you.
I don't even know you. Yeah.
That was crazy.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that was good.
I would still throw Snake Eyes into a definitely one that you can watch, and you can watch it multiple times because it is pretty fun. There's some terribleness in it, like there is any movie, but for what they were going for, I know some people would talk shit about it. I personally think the storyline is a bit more solid than Face Off.
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong, John Woo does exponentially better for movies that are gonna be dubbed in English because they're done in China. But John Woo also likes to base most of his story around like 3 to 4 really good gunfights. Like, let's be honest. Like, Face Off had like 3 really good gunfights.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
No. Did I say you were wrong?
But you just had that like, wow. You
It's
making it here? You tapping out on us a little bit?
You're kind of like Tyrion.
Hmm?
Tyrion James talking about tits when it comes to guns.
Yeah.
I like guns. I don't have many people that I can truly talk with them about anymore because most of my friends that I had that with are all in the military still, or it's like we're mostly in the military and they're all in different states.
Yeah, I know you were talking about.
It's
I know you like guns, and I'm actually really impressed with how much you know about them. I do.
He's a regular encyclopedia.
it's kind of one of those things that like I start getting to that, and it's like when some guys start talking sports that you don't care about, and your eyes start to have that glaze over, or you get some kids start talking about like their favorite cartoon, and you don't care, and you just see that glaze start to go over people's eyes, and you're like, "Holy fuck, is this person gonna stop?" Like, wow, like I'm impressed with their knowledge, but I kind of don't care. But no, overall, Snake Eyes, recommend or no?
I enjoyed it. I
Yes,
actually
I
had
did.
been looking forward to seeing it again with you guys.
Yeah, I hadn't watched this one in a while, and that whole thing. I could have swore this one had his kid in it more, but it didn't. I might be thinking of a different movie that I just can't think of.
Maybe because
I have no idea.
I don't really. Nicolas Cage and movies with kids in them are not really
Conducive.
I mean, we'll have
like
the Family
things
Man
that I
after Gone in 60 Seconds. Like he does after this, after like once the 2000s hits is when he starts doing a bit more for some things family friendly because we have the Family Man, the Captain Cornelius Mandolin is not that one, but you also have him in a Christmas Carol the movie,
Okay.
but it's a animated partially. I think
I
no,
was
it's
gonna
not.
say, wait, he was in a
No.
Christmas Carol?
But he's in Christmas Carol the movie to where it's like a mixture of animated and live action, and he plays the voice of Marley.
Tyr, are you awake?
I think Tears fading.
Yeah, I got that impression.
So, well, I mean, it's not quite an hour in that whole thing, so I will bring up to for anyone who's watching. The missing word is bothering me.
Oh,
It's one of those things to where it's like I'll have to go through and look up something, and it's not commerce, and now I can't remember what the hell it was about. That's like yesterday I couldn't think of the fucking word expediter.
really?
Yeah. It's my brain doesn't always want to function well with me. But I think we're gonna get out of here. I will openly say it's like if you want to have a little bit of a thought process, you can go watch my pondering about ballistics gel and how it goes into cloning from there.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
that's a
sounds
fun one.
fun.
Hopefully, it doesn't sound as bad. Like I said, that after Quippers, that first take I went and did had like 10, 12 minutes. Fucking mic was turned
Oh,
off.
yeah. You said that.
I still couldn't believe, like, I sat there staring at my own computer in disbelief. I'm like, there's no way I did that. No way. I
Yes, there
did.
is a way that I did that.
But we're gonna get out here because Tyr's starting to fade
Yes, you're
fast on us, and
snoring.
he's starting to snore. And that. So have a good night, everyone. We will be back next week on Tyr's channel, and Spud Gun's gonna be on there. I'll have a talking in the void. Hopefully, I can get another video out here shortly, or here in the next week or so. Trying to do one every week to 2 weeks, and the last one did not work out that well. We're gonna get out of here so Tyr can stop snoring.
Good night, y'all.
Snorblacks is back.
Go see
Later.
a movie.
Go to the theater. Later, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Join us again next week, or you can check out the other people in the panel in the description and see us again plausibly on one of their channels, or just check out what work they've done. Have a good week, everyone.